The broadcast of the adjourned meeting of the Board of Estimate and Taxation will now begin.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this live broadcast of our virtual meeting. This meeting includes remote participation of members as authorized under Minnesota statutes, section 13B.021 due to the declared local health pandemic. For the record, my name is still Carol Becker. I am the president of the Board of Estimate and Taxation. I will now call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to call the roll so we may verify the presence of a quorum.
Board Member Fry. Cogill.
Here.
Wheeler.
Here.
Bender. Fletcher.
Here.
Board Member Fry. Bender. President Becker.
Hi, I'm here.
There are 4 members present.
Okay, like the record will reflect, we have a quorum. We'll now proceed to our agenda, a copy of which is posted for public access in the city's legislative information management system, which is available at lims.minneapolismn.gov. For all voting, we will be using a roll call procedure because we are meeting remotely. Hello, Ms. Bender. Do you want to be recorded as being here, or can we do that, clerk?
I've made note of it.
Thank you. Adoption of the agenda. Board members, the agenda for today's meeting is before us. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a proper motion before us. Is there a discussion before the clerk calls the roll? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll for the motion.
Board Member Fry. Cogill.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Board Member Fry. President Becker.
Aye.
There are 5 ayes.
All right, motion passes. The agenda is adopted. Next, it's the acceptance of minutes from the September 9th meeting. Have a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? With that, seeing none, I'll ask clerk to call the roll on the motion.
Board Member Fry. Cogill.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Board Member Fry. President Becker.
Aye.
There are 5 ayes.
Thank you. The motion passes. Minutes are adopted as presented. Item 4 on the agenda is the public hearing. To receive comments on the property tax levies proposed in the mayor's 2021 recommended budget. The board received an overview of the presentation by the mayor and the park board at our last meeting, although we've not yet received details on the city's portion of the budget. I would normally open the public hearing at this point. We have had no speakers sign up to speak. And because we require people to sign up 1 hour before the meeting, we are not going to have anybody else join the queue to speak. So we have no one as far as the public testimony. So clerk, do I need to officially open and then close the public hearing if we don't have any speakers?
Yes, you would need to formally open and then close.
Okay. I would like to now open the public hearing. Can I now close it? Since we have no speakers, so would it be the appropriate, do I need a motion to close it or do I just close it?
No, I believe you just close it.
All right, then having no speakers before us, I would then close the public hearing. We tentatively have a meeting scheduled on September 23rd we currently have not had a presentation on the details of the mayor's proposed budget. So at this point, we do not know how many, say, police officers are recommended in that budget. We do not know if there are any new public safety programs in that budget. We know that we had faced a very large deficit and that there are reductions in that budget. We do not know what those reductions are. In short, we know very little about this budget. It's my intention that we have a meeting tentatively scheduled for the 23rd to set the maximum property tax levy, but I can't in good conscience ask people to vote on something that they don't know what's in it. And so in theory, we typically have our agenda setting meeting on Thursdays, but I'm going to hold on that until we have details on the budget. Hopefully that we will get the details on that budget because we do have to set a maximum levy by September 30th. And if we don't, then we will continue on with the levy from this year, which would include no increase. So hopefully we're able to get more details on that budget and have a proper public discussion on it. With that, there are no other items on the agenda. Does anyone have any discussion?
I have a question.
Mr. Wheeler?
President Becker. So do you have a date by which you are going to determine whether or not there's going to be a meeting on the 23rd, or at this point, are we expecting a meeting to be on the 23rd, and by when would, and is that in your jurisdiction to determine?
It would be my intention that we would have a meeting on the 23rd, but I don't know what is in this budget. I know there's an increase, but faced with possibly the most critical vote of my career here on the Board of Estimate, and I don't know what's in that budget. And so there is requirements for notification that we have to meet. And so it would be my intention that we absolutely will meet those notification requirements. And if we need to cancel the meeting and reschedule because we don't have information, then we can do that within those timeframes. So.
And by when could we expect that, if a potential rescheduling would happen, that we would be notified of that rescheduling?
Clerk's office, what are our timelines on notification of holding or not holding a meeting?
President Becker, we only have one more regularly scheduled meeting. That will be next Wednesday on the 23rd. If we were to reschedule, we would have to provide a minimum of 3 days notice per the open meeting law. Of course, the board could meet on the 23rd and then adjourn to another date and time. There are no other BET meetings scheduled for the month of September at this time.
So just to clarify, if we were to cancel the meeting on the 23rd, we need 3 days notice to do that. So that would mean we'd have to do that on Friday, or if we canceled on the 23rd, what is the notification timeline on that?
Yes, it would be on Friday. We would need to cancel.
Okay.
And renotice.
And then renotice, and at that point we have to renotice for the 30th. We legally can't go past the 30th. Okay. So hopefully that answered your question, Mr.
It
Koga.
does, thank you.
Mr. Wheeler, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you. What is our requirement in terms of passing on the levy? Is there a date certain that has to happen by?
September 30th. If we don't pass a levy, a new levy on the 30th, the old levy remains in place. That would mean a 0% tax increase for next year.
Okay. I have a follow-up question, and maybe there are other staff who are listening in on this meeting. Where are we in terms of getting specificity on the budget, and where there are cuts and where there are priorities, that sort of thing? Is there anybody who can give us a little guidance on that at this point? Thank you.
President Becker and Member Wheeler, As I indicated last week when I presented to this body the intent, and the city budget office is working around the clock to make this happen. The intent is to have the traditionally understood detailed budget document to be available on Tuesday, September 22nd.
Thank you very much. Ms.
Thank you,
did
Micah.
that answer your question, Mr. Miller?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Ms. Bender?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I too don't have more detail than what was shared publicly, both in the budget meeting at council and BET, about the mayor's proposal, and I too wish I did. I do want to note that the Board of Estimate and Taxation, the purview of this board is to approve the maximum levy. It isn't to approve the content of the budget. Obviously, having as much information as possible will help inform that decision. The decision, though, to not approve a levy for this year is very consequential to the experience of residents and visitors in our city. We have, as we've discussed many times, plummeting revenue and every other type of revenue in the city. So I would just urge this body to not make that decision via lack of action. If this body chooses not to approve the levy, we should do so via a vote. The decision is too consequential to leave to, not scheduling a meeting in order to have that take place. And so I'm sure that was the intention, but I just want to make sure we know that, keeping the property tax levy flat does not mean the budget stays flat. It means the budget decreases even more dramatically than what the mayor has indicated he's proposing.
It would not be my intention to not have a vote on this. I mean, but the answer to if we don't act, that's what it is. But that's not my intention at all, and I agree with you. Mr. Fletcher.
Thank you, President Becker. I think just to reiterate that point, I think even the decision about timing is something that we should make in daylight. So I would just encourage that we keep the meeting on the 23rd, acknowledging that there is the possibility that we might be at that meeting on the 23rd saying we don't have enough information and we need to adjourn to the 27th so that we can do this, or whatever. But I would encourage that not to happen in agenda setting. I would encourage the timing to be something that we establish in daylight, since, as you noted, running out the clock, if we were to just not schedule the meeting, would have the same effect as not voting and restricting the levy amount. I think it's important that we stick to our published meeting schedule, and if we determine that we need an extra meeting, let's determine that together as a board where everybody can see us making that determination.
Thank you. I am very, very concerned that we would receive budget materials on the 22nd and then it'd be expected to vote on a levy on the 23rd without having any public input. We had nobody here today because we did not provide the public with the information for them to make a decision of whether or not they wanted to engage in the budget planning process. And I see that as a failure of systems here, that we don't have people involved in what, like I said, may be the most critical decision that I'm going to make when I'm on this board, and what our police department is going to look like. And what our police department, there's no better document of what our city is going to be than what the budget is. And I appreciate that that the city council will make changes to whatever the mayor recommends. But right now, that's all we have to understand what a 5.75% increase is. I mean, it is substantially above inflation. It's substantially above inflation again for how many years now? Taxes are getting higher and higher. And at some point, the system breaks. And I'm concerned that we keep thinking that we can just raise taxes, but you can't tax the poor to help the poor. And I think that the public deserves to be part of this conversation, and giving them one night to look at the budget. And I suspect, having worked for the budget office, it's going to come out at 4 o'clock. So to expect that the public will have 24 hours to see the budget, review the budget, read about the budget, contact us if they have concerns, and thus voting on us, I think that's really, really problematic. And I don't know how else to address that other than when we schedule the meetings. Mr. Wheeler.
Yeah. I want to affirm what Councilmember Fletcher said, that I think we need to go ahead and have that meeting. And if we need to adjourn to the following week to take final action, that gives us a little more time to do that. I'm concerned, but I'm also deeply concerned that we're in sort of a very difficult period of time when we don't have that opportunity to. I mean, we need to act in the midst of all of this, and we need to have the information to do it. And I think if we have our meeting next week and we carry it on for another week, that in fact would probably be okay. So I want to affirm what Mr. Fletcher said.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other comments? Does anyone else have any other comments? All right, we have nothing else on the agenda other than adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I guess, do we call the roll on this or do we just adjourn? I forget on this. Clerk?
Yes, I would need to call the roll.
Okay.
Board Member Fry. Coghill.
Aye.
Wheeler.
Aye.
Bender.
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Board Member Fry. President Becker.
Aye.
There are 5 ayes.
All right. With that, the meeting's adjourned. Thanks so much, folks. And thanks to all the staff who made it happen. We appreciate you.